Wow. I honestly do not know what YouTube had done there. It started streaming directly from within the YouTube app without OBS on its own rather than using the stream key. Well, that is something new. Whatever YouTube have done to this, YouTube have completely changed and broke streaming. Honestly, we never used to get problems like this before. All I clicked was go live and it then went into some completely new unknown mode that I've never seen before. Honestly, I have no idea why or what that is about. Genuinely. Anyway, because of the shotgun start, let me just get to where I want to be. Tonight, we're going to talk a couple of things about CaddX. We're going to try and keep it nice and simple and straightforward. We're going to talk about the fact that you're now going to be able to buy the Ascent VTX for $35. We don't know long-term what that's going to be like, but it is coming. There's been lots of leaks this week on Ascent industrial products. So this is Ascent, but in a new dress is the term we'll use for it, and we don't really know much about these other than we have the full manuals and the specification and a picture. And we're also going to talk from a CaddX perspective about the GT version 2, which they have sent out to a bunch of people, and they're starting to post video on that, which is quite interesting, and you're seeing some big range results of that being shown. Not a particularly interesting VTX in itself, but we'll talk about that when we move through. We will talk about the fact there is a new KISS Ultra version 3. It has arrived. I haven't even opened it myself to have a look at yet, so we'll have a quick look at that. And we will talk about anything else that comes up along the way. Now, tonight, I did start a bit later on purpose because JB was streaming. I don't know, did JB start later or what? JB was running and then Siati was running, and I thought, well, that's not a lot of time for me to hop in there somewhere in the middle, so I ended up going a little bit later. Let me just adjust. Not that. I need to adjust my camera because my camera isn't in the right place. We need to just get that down a little bit. I need to adjust my camera angle a little bit. That's all. So I did go a bit later tonight rather than going that. And we're probably going to stick to the hour tonight. Try and keep it simple for a number of reasons. So the first thing we're going to talk about is CaddX this week, because there's about 3 things I want to get to on this. So the first thing we want to talk about is the GT version 2, because CaddX have sent this out to a number of testers. For those who remember, CaddX were looking for testers to try the version 2 GT VTX. Version 2 is apparently the same RF power. We did show pictures of this on the channel before. I'm going to need to find them because I didn't actually have them prepped. Has image in, so I'm just on Discord and I'm going to go in channel in hashtag CaddX. Why is Discord not working for me? In channel CaddX has includes, is it? No, image has image. There we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the pictures of the VTX because we did see these a little while ago. Here we go. So let's open that one and let's open that one. So we do have some new images of the GT version 2. Someone's asked why quotes in testers. I think I am highly suspicious that the people CaddX sent it to were made to sign a marketing agreement. I would love to hear either way, but I am highly suspicious they would have been made to sign a marketing agreement, which would include, based on CaddX's information, positive slant to the content, because that's what they were sending out before. But this is the GT Vision 2. This is the picture of it there. Is that plane made of concrete? And then we've got it from there. Now this is not a particularly interesting VTX, but it's good to see they might have fixed the GT, because there were two main issues with the GT. Number one, the low power behavior didn't work properly, and number two, it didn't have an external UART for the gimbal. So it appears CaddX have fixed that. They've added MMCX antennas. Some people will be happy about that. Some people won't. I'm on the fence about that personally. I don't have a major issue with it. Complete redesign. It's a big old thing. It's not a small VTX. It is a lump of a thing. We've started to see people post video. So for instance, this gentleman on Facebook has posted a flight of, where is it? Where's the distance? 35.1 kilometers. Which, for those who can fly 35.1 kilometers, it's great. Not everyone can. We've also seen a good video from Exolock, who's posted about it. First test flight. Showing it on his channel. I'm not going to go through the whole video, but he does show the penetration performance of it. It is worth me saying at this point, we shouldn't really expect to see great improvements in RF performance with this VTX. At the end of the day, it's apparently still 2 watts of power. So the old one was 2 watts and the new one is 2 watts. It all should be like for like. It is possible that CaddX has improved, I don't know, the RF link a bit. But if they have improved the RF link, that should cascade down the whole line of VTXs. If we do see dramatic improvements in RF performance on this compared to the old one, what that would more tell me is that the old one wasn't working properly. That's what it would tell me, because 2 watt and 2 watt are the same. Still dual antennas. There's no technical reason, really, why the version 2 should perform from an RF perspective better than the version 1. If it does, it more means the version 1 wasn't working properly. Because at the end of the day, the power is the power. It's still Avatar. It's not a new system. It was a new system. But if CaddX have tweaked the system and then there are range improvements that cascade across the whole batch, 2 watt, not 5 watt. So, yeah, you're seeing some good videos of it appearing now. Although I will say this. He's showing some great penetration performance. That is not a normal level of antenna. So he has 4 X's, X2s on there. So I think you've got to balance the... I was like, really, is it the VTX or is it the sheer amount of forward gain that's being pushed on that? I'd like to see a side by side, because that's not exactly stock setup, is it? It really, really isn't stock setup. And CaddX absolutely benefits from antenna gain. It really, really does. So, yeah, you know, that's... we're starting to see things. That is a hellish good number, 35.3 kilometers. I don't particularly find it exciting because most of us can never fly that way far anyway. I'm interested in the GT from a it's good to have a high power VTX perspective, but it certainly isn't a VTX for everyone. I would rather see the Moonlight version 2. That is really where I think it would be great to see some improvements in the system from that side. But look, I think we all know why this VTX is being pushed and sold. Let's be realistic. But yeah, look, it's a hell of a good flight. Bitrate is still 25 megabits, standard bitrate 25 megabits a second, latency 37 milliseconds. Pretty good overall. So not too bad. Alongside this week, we have also seen leaks. That video is not the GT2. Ah, no, it isn't, is it? Ah, no, that's the V2. Sorry, I read that as GT2. Good point. That's not the GT2. There was another image I was sent. Let me find it. This one was one we were sent, which is 54 kilometers, and that was the GT2. So there is a... sorry, that was my fault, that first one. Christian here from Walksnail Test Team. He's just finished with the GT2, and he's done 53.4 kilometers. Trex is on the side. And he's showing the 53.4 kilometers. Yeah, I thought... Yeah, no, I misread that. That's my fault. Apologies. That's an error on my part. That isn't, though. That is Christian. That is a cracking distance. That is a cracking distance. You can tell... Well, I'm not sure what you can tell on that image. Yeah, that is a cracking distance. He's got some pictures down there of the quad. Where was this posted? Official Walksnail Official. So this is on here somewhere. So shall we see if we can find it? It's him. It's Christian. Come on, Christian. So that is... There it is. There's his official post. So you can see the new VTX there in the middle. Antennas are pretty decent. Yeah, it's not crazy high. That's a straightforward setup. There goes the full image. Latency was at 91 milliseconds at that point. And then you can see the VTX is there. So, yeah, look. There's some real big numbers coming from that VTX. So if that interests you, it's there. I think Walksnail, without doubt, has the best FPV system from a flying at range perspective. Now, you know, HD0 could, but they don't have the power. We don't see HD0 with that power. That's the big difference here. We all have only just received the VTX in the last few days. Here's a question. Did you have to sign any tester agreements? Did they make you sign a KOL agreement? I'm intrigued. I would have thought so, but yeah, you know, look, Walksnail, I think by far is the longest range capable system now. By VTX power, no range limit. What's not to like? There's nothing not to like. Obviously, though, range is not everything. It's how the system performs. There are some people that will find this interesting. There are some people that this really doesn't do anything for. You've got to take into account the long range market is very, very small in the end. MMCX does make sense on a higher power VTX in some ways. I'm not against MMCX. I don't personally have any issues with that. I don't know what the price is going to be. Yeah, CaddX, I guess, Raddy said they don't want any pictures of it dismantled. Probably because CaddX don't want anyone seeing inside. CaddX don't really like... Well, one of the reasons CaddX hate me is because I take everything apart. Now, obviously, when it's available to buy, I'll order it and tear it apart, as we always do. But it's looking like a far more polished product than the V1 was. The V1 never felt right. The fact that they released the V1 without the UR literally the same time as the gimbals made no sense. Just didn't make sense. So yeah, GT Vision 2 looking good. Looking very, very good. So yeah, look, it's nice to see. Nothing bad to say about the GT Vision 2. We've also seen leaks of this week. Now, this apparently is a new Ascent industrial VRX and VTX. Now, it isn't clear if this is the VRX module that CaddX was talking about. DJI is not going to copy CaddX. It isn't clear if this is the VRX module that CaddX were talking about, or the big VTX, because this is being labelled Ascent. Oh God, I just closed the window I wanted. 1 second. Ascent Industry is what this is being labelled. So we have an Ascent VRX Industry. What that means, I don't know. Industrial use, it seems. It has a full-size HDMI port on it from the look of it. USB port, DC jack. We've got a UART on the side, SD card, and then our menu buttons. Input voltage is 7.4 to 25.2, so 2 to 6S. And it is very much an Ascent version of the original VRX module. However, there is something very, very different about this compared to the CaddX Avatar VRX. And you get to that when you get into the spec, and that is the fact that this only supports 60 frames a second modes. The specification on this VRX, and if we get down to it, we'll get down there in a minute, here we go. Specification is 1080p 6050, 720p 6050. This does not have any 100 frames a second modes. Even in the very earliest days of Avatar, did it have 100 frames a second? And to me, this is a bit of a concern, because it makes me wonder if CaddX can't do 100 frames a second on Avatar. On Ascent. There's no reason they can't, but they certainly don't seem to be getting anywhere near it a minute. Now, there is an argument to say, well, why would industry want 100 frames a second? That is an absolute fair point to make, and I would even agree with it. Where I struggle a little bit is the fact of we haven't seen any Ascent product yet running high frame rates. So that is a little bit concerning. What's also interesting on the VRX is that it supports 4.9 to 6.4 gigahertz, so it has quite a wide range of operating frequency, and it supports up to 35 dBm of RF power. So that is what, 1500 watts, I think it is in total. I can't remember what 35 dBm is. It's 1500. It's gotta be 35 30. DJI can do up to 36 dBm. That can't be right. There's no way it's 3 watts. That cannot be right. Is it? That's almost 4 watts. That can't be right. There's 30 dBm. Yeah, 30. Oh no, it might be right. Well, DJI 04 can do 36 dBm, which according to that's 4 watt. My brain isn't working properly. Oh no, DJI can do 33 dBm. Not 36. Sorry, I'm getting there. My brain's waking up. So, this thing can do nearly 4 watt of RF power. Apparently. I didn't really read the power level. I didn't come across that yet. Didn't really come across the power level. I haven't read the power level up until now, so it's the first time I've read the power level on it. We know about the frequency range. We knew about the 1080p 60. Didn't know about the power level. Wow, that is a lot of power. Clearly in the industrial. VTX-wise, we do have pictures. It looks a lot like that GT, actually. So, power-wise, I haven't read what they're doing on this. 36 again? JB said industry just code for military. I think we all know that. That's a lot of power. Is that EIRP? Even then, even EIRP, that's a lot of power. Wow, okay. I thought the VTX was 4 watt. I didn't think the VRX was 4 watt. I've got a bit confused. To be honest, I've had my head in the Ascent drone for days, so that's where I've been getting my head in. So, look, this is on the horizon as well, so yeah, look, it's something that's coming. What isn't clear is if this is going to be this Ascent VRX they're talking about, or is there going to be like a hobby one or something like that. CaddX also, when I find the webpage, they are also obviously got their initial, yeah, they also mention the goggles Cine in support as well. So in here, I think it says something about goggles Cine. Don't know. No idea at all. You can see goggles Ascent, goggles Cine. Is this the name for the goggle that CaddX has decided they're going to make with the dual modules? We don't know. We just don't know. It's not clear. So, no real news about Moonlight 2. No, there's been nothing. Not really pictures. It feels like Moonlight 2 is behind everything else. It does. Now, obviously, CaddX have got their pre-orders up for the Ascent Light VTX pre-sale at $35.99. It isn't clear if this is the long-term price. It's called pre-sale. It might be that permanently, and if it is, fantastic. But we don't know. So it is worth saying that this could change from a pricing perspective, because they are clearly labeling it pre-sale, and pre-sale could just be it's a pre-sale to get it out there, or this pricing is based on a pre-sale. It really could be either way. There is no question that that is not incredibly cheap. I have been flying Ascent a lot this week. I have a lot of flights on Ascent and the Protoss. I've just finished my Protoss review. That's going up tomorrow. That video is an hour and a half long. Buckle up. From an Ascent perspective, I'm actually quite intrigued where it's going to go. The RF is okay. The jittering needs to be fixed. They definitely have a judder problem in the image. That needs to be fixed. But other than that, the way the Ascent system performs from an RF perspective, now I've cut the whole video and flown as much as I've flown, is okay. It needs work. What I do say in the video, and I can easily say it now, Ascent is starting from a better place than Avatar did, but Avatar launched with 100 frames a second, and my only concern here is where is the 100 frames a second? But from a usability point, Ascent has started from a better place. But the judders in the image need to be fixed. There is an absolute stutter to the Ascent image in flight. As for the Protoss, that is a whole other story. What I did do this week is retune the Protoss with my own custom rate tune, and once you change the rates, it flies beautifully. Honestly, once you drop the bloody expo and change the rates, it flies all right. Apart from, there are absolutely issues with the PX4 build on the drone. Two major issues I come across. I was able to fly it till the battery died and it didn't auto land. It just killed itself. And I had a very, very near flyaway attempt. Let me just get to where I need to be. Two seconds. I'm on the wrong video. Where is the link to it? Oh, honestly, the stock rates are terrible. Protoss, yeah, but it's tuned so badly for learning, it's bad. It is no good the way it's tuned. That's my problem with it. It's tuned in such a bad way. Latency is high. Latency is 50. I published my latency chart in the video. It's 50 milliseconds to a full frame. Between 50 and 60 milliseconds to a full frame. It's not as low as Avatar at the moment. Now, let me share with you this so you can see this for yourself, because this actually happened. And note, desktop, that one. So I'm going to mute my mic and let it play what happened a moment. Okay, we've got flip mode. Okay, we've got flip mode. Hey. Oh, what is going on? What is going on? It says lost. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck was that? So, let me talk through it this time. Had a crash. Flipped it back over. Took off. Everything fine. So, back in position. Fine. Now, you will see at this point, it now says lost. Yet, so it's moved into this lost mode where it's trying to sort of head off. Not in Acro. It's not really even like stabilized mode. I don't know what mode it's in, but I had some control because that's why I bring it towards me. And I was literally about to disarm and I was like, right, what is going on? And then it jumps back into P and goes to the moon. And you'll hear it, you hear the motors. Now, you can't even do that with that remote. You cannot make it go like that in position mode. It's not possible. Let me unmute it. On, it says lost. Oh my god. The other channel is where I just upload crap like this out the way.
Oh my god. What the fuck was that?
What was that? I think PX4 is a pretty bad choice on this, is all I'll say. But maybe you must return to home. I don't know. It put the motors... It clearly was still... Because if you watch, right, there's some interesting things in it.
Okay, we've got flip mode. Hey.
So it switches into this lost, which is meant to be RC signal lost at this point. Yet it's still...
Oh, what is going on? What is going on? It says lost. Oh my god.
And then I disarmed.
Oh my god.
Now I'm the person that did the disarm, so it's
What
still...
the fuck was that?
It still listened to the RC commands, but it went full motor moon. It's got to be something overhanging in PX4. Frankly, this thing needs beta flight ASAP. It's got to be. It's got to be something in PX4. It just has to be some quirk. But the way you hear the motors go... is the green bar the battery? Right. What goes normal again? Yeah, that...
got flip mode.
It is battery, yeah. So you can see there, it's gone down. Weird. Really weird. Really, really weird.
What is going on? It says lost.
And look, yeah, it just poof. That sound of the motors.
Oh my.
It's full scream.
Oh my.
Don't know. That's a weird one. That is a weird one. A very, very weird one. Have found that when you crash it, it does tend to do weird crap. It's almost like it resets itself. Some people have commented on it. You need to be a little bit careful. The good news is I retained RC control because I could disarm it. So, other good news is it didn't get damaged. It just fell out the sky, hit the ground, covered in a lot of mud, clean it up, and then I continued to fly it again, which was fine. So, and it didn't do that again, which is good news. Look, I'm testing this thing. I question how much, I don't mean testing, but how many people have really got their hands on this? How many people are putting this through their paces? I've flown this pretty hard now for 2 weeks, and I'm finding bugs and crap everywhere. But that's because I'm flying it. I'm flying it. Yeah, but negative altitude shouldn't cause... you shouldn't have a to the moon event in negative altitude. It's got to be something in PX4 that has triggered it. No, it can't be the battery. If the battery gone loose, that would have been full current to the motors at that point. Actually, I had something like that happen. Did you? Set in wrong altitude. Well, it's running PX4, so if PX4 can do that off altitude, man, it's concerning. It's weird. The irony is I tend to record all audio on a lot of my stuff, so I can talk to myself back about what I found and what I see, and it's handy to do. And then it's like, what is going on? But on the flip side of it, I reset it and it behaved. I then did some Acro flights with a retuned, and I will be honest with you, it is so much better. So much better once you have tuned Acro mode on it a little bit. I'm not going to say it's perfect because it isn't. But man, let me just find this one. This might be one of the Acro flights. Once you've tuned Acro a little bit, and I was just moving it around the field, it flies so much better. So much better once you've tuned Acro mode. Yes, it does wash out. You've got to be careful for the washout on it. I can tell you the tunes. Put it 750 millimeters a second, and I didn't change the rate, the tune. All I've changed is the rates and the RC Expo, and it's night and day. Rates and RC Expo, and it's so much better. You can actually push it around a little bit without, removing Expo was just a night and day difference. The camera really struggles looking towards light. You'll see that here. You know, it's a noisy camera. It's it certainly struggles. Like, look how dark it goes here. But yeah, it flies. Not this, you know, they can tame the rates a little bit, but whatever they've done with that Expo is bonkers, because it does nothing, and then suddenly there, and it makes it incredibly hard to fly it on the original remote. Do I know if the MIPI cable on 03 can be used on 04 Lite? Yes, it cannot. It's a different MIPI cable. So yeah, the tuning, once you've tuned it, I was just moving it around the field to have a play. And honestly, at this point, I was just testing to see how it was and how it felt. And it is just so much better. You can see the confidence. You've got a bit of confidence in it now. You know, I'm not afraid to push it around the field a little bit. No, it will freaking wash out on you, like the Neo, though. Notice that there. Harsh yaw, right? It will wash you out like a Neo. It dipped and went. Yaw, boom. So you have got to watch it. You really do have to watch it. And don't get me wrong, I'm pushing it to the extreme here. It certainly isn't a cine whoop. It really isn't a cine whoop. So just be a little careful of that. The remote is incredibly directional as well in my testing. Like the goggles are very directional. I couldn't take off. I had to go and pick it up. It was stuck in grass. You can see I couldn't get it to take off, so I had to go back and pick it up. So, yeah, and I then did some more tests, taking it down. I'm actually quite impressed with the RF performance. It's not terrible at all. The RF is okay. It's all right. It's not the... It's pretty good. The camera is garbage, but it's a small camera. They probably went with PX4 because of the licensing and the sensor is probably what they did. Yeah, it again, just I was testing it more than anything to have an understanding of how it felt in Acro once I tuned it. Couldn't fly anything like this before. You couldn't do anything like this with it originally. I wouldn't have trusted flying it this hard, just even close to the ground before. just didn't have the confidence to be able to control it. Whereas now, and this is on the stock remote, I will add as well, not the TX15. I could fly it on the stock remote at this point. I got 6 minutes before I killed it. I will show you, you could see the stutters there as I was coming over those trees. If you see there, you can start to see the stutters appear on the RF link a little bit. You'll be talking 3-4 minutes max. What I'm also doing here is I'm testing the RF link. You'll see me doing a lot of orbits. What I'm looking for is how the RF link behaves. You'll see here, I actually get an RC signal loss in a minute. There, I lost RC signal. And I'm literally only just the other side of the hedge. And the RC dropped. So bearing in mind, I'm here at this point, right? I'm behind the hedge, I lost RC signal. The RC signal is not great. Just be aware of that. But yeah, and not too bad. And final thing I'll just show, I think this is a good flight to demo it on. I think in this flight I was testing behind me with the goggles. I wanted to see how it behaved. I was doing some testing of the flight controller a minute. I wanted just to see how it was there. Here, you'll start to see I was doing some testing up the field behind me. So you can see there I'm pointing away on purpose. I wanted to see how the signal behaved. And you don't get far behind you. Already in focus mode. Yeah, you cannot go far behind yourself with these goggles because they only have the 2 forward-facing patch antennas. So as a result of that, you will lose signal. You know, I'm literally there. You really cannot go behind yourself. I'm there, look. I'm literally, you're about to see me there. You cannot go behind yourself with those goggles because they don't have any omnis. They only have front facing. And again, so I think I slowed down to go up to see when it started to play up. There, you see the focus mode. But I like the way the signal drops. Oh yeah, and I went out of RC signal again. Again, just so you see there, again, where I was, look, bearing in mind, you'll see it there. So look, I'm here. Just look how far away I go. I'm pointing forward. And I'm about to lose the RC signal again. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Wait for it. Dropping down video. I turned around and the RC signal dropped. Yeah, I haven't pushed the range because it's not a quad for it, if I'm honest. Everything about this quad is not for long range. The antenna setup is horrible. Look, it's not fair on the system to even talk about the range of the video in that quad. You need to take it out and put it in proper antenna setup. I'm actually going to, my next task next weekend is I'm going to be putting that VTX in the Go film. Maybe not. I might even put it in a 5-inch. I might even put it in a 5-inch. The remote performance is a bit disappointing, if I'm honest. The remote performance is a bit disappointing. But again, the antenna in the quad isn't great. So, but yeah. Simple as that. Someone was saying earlier that apparently it's been said to JB that this is going to be the pricing. So if that is the case, brilliant. Happy days. At this price, If they make like a 1-watt VTX for like, I don't know, $70, it makes you wonder what the point of OpenIPC will be from a cost perspective. Because if they can deliver a base digital system for this sub $200 category, you know, this isn't about DJI at this point. This flies better than OpenIPC and WFBNG right now. Okay, I still haven't tried the new Wi-Fi based link. I just haven't had chance. But this pricing is incredibly aggressive. It's not perfect, but it works better than the others, is what I would say at that price point. Does it end analog at that price point? Maybe. Maybe this becomes wide by analog. But to say that, we need more cameras. You need better cameras, because not everyone, you need a 1-watt VTX and a proper camera. And the latency is still a problem. I showed the chart last week. I've got the chart on my downloads. The latency is way too high. Way too high. Just to put it back up, that's the latency chart from my latency testing. Let me turn myself off. And Ascent is all the way up here. And as a result of that, it is very, very high. Very, very high. It is higher than Avatar at 60 frames a second. So we need to get this down a bit before it's an out-and-out analog replacement. You know, it's got a bit of a way to go. And these Avatar numbers aren't right now. They've actually crept up a little bit in recent testing. So it needs to come forward a bit. Will the Avatar cameras work? Do you know what? I haven't tried that yet. That needs to be done on the bench testing, actually, when I get the VTX out, because I am going to pull the VTX out of it. I couldn't do that until I finished the review on the Protoss, because I wanted to review the Protoss kit. So I couldn't do that until I've done that. I think the pricing is incredible. There is, I tell you something, if they deal with the judders, if they get even the latency, I can a little bit live with. If they can deal with the judders and jitters, I will be a happy, happy man, actually. That if they can deal with these jitters and judders, ooh, yes. Then I think this becomes a very compelling analog replacement. Hopefully the VRX will be priced appropriately. Yeah, because look, the goggles they're selling for $150. You know, you can buy the Ascent goggles when we find it. For $149. So we just need a VRX. They have priced themselves weirdly with this, though. What are they going to come in at with a VRX? $100? $99? And you're only paying $50 for a whole goggle? So, okay, let's just... No, it isn't for us, but it also has to meet some minimum standards. So it still isn't quite at the minimum standards that I could even recommend it from a cheap perspective. The stuttering is that's a problem. If they solve the stuttering, game on. Incredibly cheap, though. Incredibly cheap. Yeah, look, I don't know if I can believe this is for the community. This, I think we all know what this is for. Well, that was the image. That was the image that was posted, and I'll show you my image of the VRX, which will tell you what it's probably for, in my opinion. So that's the image of the VRX officially. And when Discord wakes up, wow. It looks like Discord is broke. I can't post the image because Discord is broke. Wow, Discord. Now I'm going to have to... Discord seems to be open about 600 times. When is Discord not broke? Right, try again. Discord didn't want to show any images. Right, found it. So that's the version which I said I'd created. So that is the official leaked version, and I think we know that is probably the reality. We know it. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. I think we all know where it's going. So anyway, look, overall, lots of good. GT Vision 2 looks great. The 50 kilometers with GT Vision 2. All of the VRXs on this Ascent are 2 antennas. I don't know if you're ever going to see a 4 antenna version of Ascent. I don't know if you will. I just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. GT Vision 2 looks good for those who want it. I will get one in. We will tear it down. I'm not going to range test it because we don't do that here. Ascent, I'm pleasantly pleased about the RF link. I would like to see the stuttering improved and some higher power VTXs. But overall, it isn't in bad shape. Genuinely, it isn't in bad shape. Now I've flown it a lot. I tell you what puts you off, and my last comment on this, what puts you off this is the way the drone flies. Once you get past how the heap of shit flies, it's actually okay. You get to spend time thinking about the RF link. The problem is the drone flies so badly at first in Acro mode that all you can think about is how badly the drone flies. And in the video, you will see my first flights in Acro mode, and it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. But once you take the Expo down to 0.35 and take the rates up to about 700, 750, it's perfect. It's fine. So, okay. Next, we're going to quickly talk about DJI. Obviously, the Neo 2 has launched this week. We have seen various reviews of that hit in the UK. Does the FCC hack work on the Neo 2? I don't know. I don't have one. I haven't bought one, so I can't comment on it. At the moment, I have held back from running out and buying a Neo 2. Part of the problem is I can't get it with the combination I need. If you go to DJI now to order it, I don't need another freaking remote controller. I don't need... So if we go to DJI.com... I don't want Hong Kong. Oh, I'm on Hong Kong. Wait a minute. Now that you can order this in the United Kingdom, I don't want this with another freaking remote controller, and I don't want this... See, the Fly More combo is 349 quid with the OcuSync module and the remote and the 2 batteries. What I want is just to get the Neo 2 with the OcuSync module. I don't want... This is going to be available, but it's not in stock. It's 19 quid, so I can't get it just with that. Because I've got the remote controller, I've got the goggles, I don't need anything else. So, I'm holding back a minute. What's the price of the batteries, mind? What does it work out, actually? 349. Didn't actually think of this. What are DJI charging for the batteries? 35. So 70 quid for 2 batteries. So 89 quid for 2 batteries and the OcuSync module. And the drone price is 209. So you're talking 298 quid. Compared to the 349. Do you get the charge hub with the Fly More combo? That's a question. I don't know. Yes, you do. So how much is the charge hub? £29 quid. It's almost not worth it, doesn't it? Just sell the remote. It's almost not worth it. But I added the price of the extra batteries. So 209 plus 70 for the batteries. So that's 209, 279 plus 19, 289, 298 plus 29 quid. So would have been 329, 328, 327. So 327 quid versus 19 quid for the transmitter. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, it's at the moment I've somewhat held back from rushing into it. Look, from my perspective, it's dead money. I'm not gonna see the benefit of it on the channel. I can't even do a teardown video because someone's already done it. So I really look. I have to look at some of these things from a financial business perspective, and look, from my channel, I don't. There's some amazing videos on the follow me performance. There's some amazing videos on how it looks. There's a teardown video. Everything you need to know is out there about this drone, if I'm honest, other than the FCC hacks. And a FCC hack video is never going to cover the cost of the entire drone. It's really that simple. And there are some genuinely great videos out there about this drone. If you do get one, though, just be warned and make sure you remove the film off the LiDAR sensor. Apparently, there's a film over the top, and it might cause problems. Yeah, so I do have a VNR. So, yeah, look, I think it's a great drone. I don't really see how I could drive benefit from it. I don't really need one. So it's like, I'm far more interested in the Avata 360 that is around the corner. So it's yeah, it's quite. Do I think it's possible to feed video signal into this $20 receiver? No. No, it's not possible. Because it's not a transmitter or receiver. It's only the RF chip. The layout on the Neo 2 is no different really from the Neo. It's just they've moved the S2 off board. The S2 communicates with either the Eagle or the Eagle 3T, which is the main system processor. Eagle 3 in this rather than Eagle 3T. And rather than the chip being inside, they've just pushed the chip and the RF power amplifiers externally. But it's not a transmit. It's the bare RF hardware. You still need everything in the drone to run it. Well, yeah, look, Jonas. Okay. Yeah, could you do anything? He said raw video. Can you use it as an RF front end and design your own RF system around it? Yes. Can you put in just put video into it and use it as a transmitter? No. I'm talking about, can you take a camera, connect it up to it somehow, and then send out video? Yeah, it's the whole baseband, but it still needs the system processor to actually do the video side of it. I'm trying to keep it simple, Jonas. Shut up. I know what you're like. It's the front end, it's the SoC, it's the baseband, it's the S2. It still needs everything else in the back end. I'm trying to keep it simple. Remember, sometimes I have to keep it simple. But what you can't do is connect a camera up to it and go, hey, I've got a DJI 04 VTX. It's not even half of a DJI 04 VTX. It's the RF power amplifiers. It's the S2, which is the mode. I like to use a simple term called the modem. It's baseband, but look, let's call it the modem to keep it simple. Okay, we call it the modem, but you still need the PC in the back end to do all the processing. Could you, if you completely, as Juna says, because he knows more about this than probably anyone, could you take the DJI chip and write your entire own software stack and reverse engineer it and use it? Yes. If you had a lot of time and half of DJI's existing code and an understanding of DJI's existing code. They've basically taken the last bit of it and pushed it off board is what they've done. I still don't fully get it. I still think it's a pointless move. Personally, I still think it's a pointless move. Some people, there's an argument that it makes sense. It makes sense if that transmitter was $50. The fact they're charging 20 quid, 19 quid for it, I don't get why it's not on board. For the 19 quid, I don't get it. I do not get it. I'd have put because that 19 quid with all of the engineering is probably 6 quid in BOM. If that. I'd have just put it on board. It's a very, very strange move. I still think this is a very strange move. It really does. But yes, look, Junis knows more than anyone on this stuff, and he does like to correct me when I'm technically wrong, but sometimes I say things in a certain way that makes it more sense to the layman. What you can't do is put a camera on it. Right. The last thing I want to talk about is this, because KISS have released an Ultra version 3, and I have one. It's not there though. Where is it? There it is. So, this is the new kit. There it is. This is the new KISS Ultra version 3. I'm going to show it to you from here. It's embargoed, okay? You're not allowed to look at it. You're not allowed to see it. No, it wouldn't affect the ban. No, FCC ban would still apply. Yeah, so this is the new KISS Ultra Vision 3. Now, I haven't even seen this myself. I haven't opened this myself. So we're going to pop the lid inside. I'm going to give you a bit of a box ASMR. Opening and closing of the lid. You only get that sound from KISS. So we're going to withdraw it from the bag. And here it is. The new KISS Ultra version 3. And as June says, finally after 4 years, a 12-volt back. Very, very shiny. Let's put it there. Obviously, very much the standard KISS Ultra shape. You've still got your STM32H7. Still amazes me like how big the board is on the KISS Ultra. Because that's how he's able to do the Ultra, the small one. But yeah, there we go. Really, really nice. Major change. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh my God. It's a USB-C port. Yes, hell has froze over and he has migrated to a USB-C. Very nice to see indeed. Obviously, spec-wise, it's the H743 running at 480 megs, 2 mega flash, 1 mega RAM, BMP 390 gyro. No, sorry, BMP 390 barometer, ICM 42652 gyro running over SPI. Very nice indeed. 5-volt and 12-volt backs up to 2 amp, and you can see them on the back there. And really, it is a very, very nice, as always, KISS Ultra. Very shiny as well. Castellated pads down the side. Very nice. Pads all around. Extra solder pads for motors 5 to 8. Available as well. So yeah, look, really, really nice. And USB-C. Let's not get away from USB-C. One of the prettiest boards, let's be honest with ourselves. Thicker wire harness, yes. So included in the kit is the wiring harness as well. So there you go. And it is thicker wires on that now. Much thicker than it was before. If we just get that out. Bag opening ASMR. So now the ESC wires are still silicon, but thicker. Very nice. And 8S is capable as well. I will have a full video coming on it, but I just thought I'd give you a sneak peek. Very nice. Let's just get in and... let's go there. You can see now the voltage regulators. There you go. Very, very nice indeed. Honestly, it's crazy, and it doesn't look like there's much on the board at all. I am a big fan of Ultra. Ultra flies extremely well. Ooh. Ultra does fly extremely well. It really, really does. So yeah, look, version 3 is out. It is on the website, which is $90. 90 euros. It's out of stock. You can't get one right now because they're like gold dust, as they usually are, but they will come through in batches. But yeah, 90 euros. You're paying for a very, very nice piece of kit. Do I know if SpeedyBee is doing something for their wings? I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard from SpeedyBee for a long time. I am not aware of anything from SpeedyBee at all. I'm not aware of anything. It's very quiet. Well, no one's talking to me anymore, which is very possible. Fly High just got them yesterday. There we go. Very nice indeed. Right, guys. If you've got any questions, please put them in the chat. Now is the time to do it. A couple of years ago, we saw they had a repeater for cinema drones. CaddX have a repeater module. There is a repeater from CaddX. CaddX have a repeater for the Avatar system. DJI, because they would not sell that to FPV or consumer. It's an industrial product for mostly the Acro series of drones, although they have somewhat made it for their enterprise drones, but it's for the Acro series to go over mountains and hills. DJI will not provide you that for FPV. Sorry, you do not deserve to fly far enough or in places where you would need that. You don't. DJI don't feel you need that, therefore you're not getting it. Basically, DJI is telling you to go fuck yourself because they don't think you should have it. If I had to buy one, would it be the Mini 5 or the Neo 2? They're very different drones. Do you want to do cinema? Are you doing flying to take footage, or do you want to do FPV? If you want to do FPV, get the Neo 2. If you want to do cinematic footage from camera drone footage, it's the Mini 5. They're very, very, very different products. Very, very different products. You have to decide which one of the two you want, because you can't fly FPV goggles on the Mini 5. I'm bored this winter and looking for a 1S 2.5-inch or 3-inch toothpick frame. I don't really know frames. I do like the little Flywoo Fireflies as a quad. I do like their Firefly series. They're great little quads. I don't really know frames, but I do like the Firefly. But they're quite big because they're digital. Did I see the DJI vacuum cleaner? Yes, the Romeo. They've got it on discount, apparently. I think Juna's told me. DJI Romeo. Yeah, apparently they're on discount already. Tough market because UAV are... Oh, they're not selling it in the... Are they selling it in the UK? No, they're not selling it in the UK. But apparently there were discounts on it already. The Romo. Apparently. Do I think the Avatar 360 will be sold in the US? That's a complicated question because it depends what happens with DJI. What's the cheapest Ardra Pilot AIO? You'd have to look on the list because I don't know what AIOs are fully supported by Ardra Pilot. You'd have to go through the list of supported boards. Ardrew doesn't have a wide selection. Usually, it's Maytech or Hollybro. Their hardware support isn't massive. Flywoo F405 Pro, or you go Flywoo F745. This is probably one of the cheaper ones, the Groku. Or a wing. It depends if you want quad or a wing. iFlight, a bunch of AIOs supported. Speedy Bees. iFlight Beast. That should be fairly cheap. AliExpress. £108. It's not available. Maytech. I'll be honest, probably the Flywoo. The Flywoo, I would suspect, is probably one of the cheapest, if I'm honest. I can imagine that being one of the lower cost ones. I don't know if the version 3 is the same, but that's $65. I'd try and go with the Groku if you could. I just don't know, does the version 3 work the same? But they're showing there. You'd have to double check. But it depends if it's the right version or not. Ardrepilot tends to work a lot further in the past. Do I know DJI FPV flight controller? No, never heard of them. I've seen it around. Now I've seen the image. I have seen a picture of it. Looks to be another cheap Chinese thing. Can't really comment. Oxbot will soon be best for Ultra if they play the cards right. I think we're going to have to see. You know, Oxbot, it's a long way to go. I don't fully understand why. Apparently it's Speedy Bee. So let's see. Apparently Oxbot is Speedy Bee, or at least part of the same company. Same as Runcam. So it's Runcam, Speedy Bee, Oxbot. Now, it isn't really clear what this is about, what this is going to evolve into. It's a bit weird, if I'm honest. Any other questions? Put them in the chat. I'm just going to check Discord a minute just to make sure. Is 27 megs used for RC? Probably somewhere, yeah. Not anywhere that I know of, but it will be used somewhere. Not sure about 72. Certainly not for digital, put it that way. Too low a frequency. Technically doable, but too low a frequency. Neo to Acro mode. Yeah, it's available now. So DJI have added Acro mode on Neo. That's the point. I didn't talk about it properly. So DJI have added Acro mode on the Neo. However, temper yourself. Don't expect it to be phenomenal. I don't know why some of your messages are getting blocked. I'm not seeing that my side. It might be what wording is in them. There are some blocked words simply because of the spam bots on the channel. It's not Acro, it's manual. It's fucking Acro. So we had a few videos a couple of days ago, but we're starting to see a few more appear. What's this one? That's 7 days. Where's the ones I watched? So this is 3 days ago. So he's flying it in manual mode. No, that's the DJI marketing material. Oh, he's talking about it, so he's not flying it. Okay. This was one from 8 days ago. So this guy throws it around his garden a little bit, but it's still not great. It still has the typical DJI typical DJI behavior. It still has that, you know, it still has the you bank too quick. So he's there in it. It's still got the nannying features. That on-screen display, man, I hope you can turn that off. It's a bit of a boat. You can see it's a bit of a boat. It should have a bit more power than the Neo one because it is a bigger aircraft. Largely the same as the Neo one. If you angle too quick, it kicks you out into normal mode. But yeah, can it do it? Absolutely. Just like the Neo 1 could. If you pushed it hard enough, the Neo 1 could do it. Yeah, I saw some wobble then. Some people have said there's a bit of a wobble to the gimbal. And you can see it now and again. But look, it's flying in manual. It's... Oh. What, was that him or was that it? Yeah, exactly. It's more like it has the Acro flying modes. Yes, exactly. You know, it's not meant to be a freestyle quad. Let's be realistic. This is pushing it to the max. What you want is Acro mode so you can fly smoothly for those, because I can't fly for shit in stabilized anymore. You just can't get the coordinated turns and anything smooth in stabilized mode. Yeah, you know, I said this years ago. How long before they had augmented gates for virtual? I've said this years ago. Years and years ago, I said the very same thing. Why haven't we got augmented reality gates? Can it do Acro mode? Yes. In many ways, it looks a little better than the Neo 1. What I'm not seeing is the total washout you get on the Neo 1 because of the lack of power. We don't have his sticks on screen, but it looks all right. It looks okay. Anyone know what the message is in the corner? Can anyone read that? It looks like it's got more power than the original Neo, which will help a lot. Manual mode. Caution is required when flying. Brilliant. So you've got to put up with that nonsense all the time. Okay. It definitely looks like it has a bit more power, because that was the big problem with the Neo 1. You had to sort of plan your way out before you went in. I thought he was going for that post then. Yeah, it's been a while since I've flown the Neo in Acro mode. I haven't flown the Neo for a little while. Quite a while, so I can't remember if it was there or not. Yeah, the Neo one's like a truck. Yeah, you can do a flip and then you're heading for the ground with mass. That's actually a really good demo of what it can do. Yeah, and it's not designed for this. This is pushing it to the limit. What you want is manual mode for the cinematic flying to be able to do what DJI said it could do in the marketing material. Remember, DJI promised in the marketing material that I could fly down cliffs, which you cannot do in stabilized mode. So now you can. Yeah. Yeah, I think you should be able to turn off the radar view. In all DJI's consumer drones, you can turn off the radar view. You probably just have to go into a settings in the goggle to do it. It is a shame that DJI doesn't do it automatically in Acro mode. They should disable that in Acro. You could see the wobble of the camera there. Watch it when he comes out. Oh, yeah. Watch that there. You see it in the camera. Oh. Oh, there. Did you... I don't know how easy that is to see, but there's a horrible wobble in the camera. Oh, yeah. Can you slow playback? Playback speed 0.25. Watch that. I would suspect that's gimbal, because remember, the gimbal is completely isolated. I suspect that's combination of gimbal. Where are we now? So we're going over. It looks like prop wash, but this has... my bet is that's gimbal. Yeah. The bounce on the rubbers. That's going to be the only problem if you're getting that. You're not going to be able to push it hard. I tell you what would be interesting is someone 3D printing something up to lock it. 3D printing something to lock the gimbal in place whilst it can still move. But what I mean is so it doesn't move on the rubber isolators. It probably wants something you can just force in to sort of stiffen it so the gimbal is locked, not on its normal wobble. It is better than the 04 Lite. It is definitely better than the 04 Lite. No, not 04 Pro. It's the same size sensor, but it's a different sensor and a different lens. Yeah, the fact it has a 2-axis gimbal has you sold. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to like about the Neo 2. My problem is I would like one, but it's how I can... Look, for me, that is goggles footage, yeah. Yes, you will get onboard footage in manual mode. Field of view is more than, I think it's 100, isn't it 100, what is it, 100 something, I can't remember what it was, 130, I got 130 in my head. It's 130, 140, 130, 140, 130, 140, 130, 140. Oh, I don't want to go to DJI store. 130, 140, 130, 140, 130, 140. Oh, no, it's not. It's 120. Yes, I have seen the new 04 lens mod for Flywoo, and I believe I have one on the way. I've had a shipping notification from Flywoo, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. It's still wider. I'm sure that's wider than DJI 04. Can't remember off the top of my head. What's 04 now? Yeah, 117.6. So it's a little bit wider than 04. And then 04 Pro is 155. So it's a touch wider. Else Fly will fix it. Yes. It's a very nice quad. I'd like to do the FCC test. I am expecting FCC to just work. Flywoo are selling a full lens mod kit now, which gives 150 odd degrees field of view. So I have that come in. We'll talk about that. It would be cool when they have full the image encoding like on the Steam, the new Steam goggles. Yeah, I'm not sure that would work at range though. We basically have that now with focus mode, mind. Although it's not quite focus mode. But yeah, look, it is an incredibly interesting drone. An incredibly interesting drone. Yeah, and I think, look, I have no criticism of the Neo 2 at all. DJI have moved it more towards the Hover Air. That's exactly where DJI were pushing it for. They're going after the Hover Air Pro Max. They're going after the selfie drone market, whilst keeping their toes in the FPV market as well. But this drone is aimed at chasing you down the mountain on a mountain bike. That's what this is aimed for. DJI are going after the Hover Air crowd, the folding drone crowd, the crowd who are selfie drones that are following them around. And it looks like they've done a very, very good job. What is clear, though, is none of these drones are yet where they need to be from an object sensing perspective. You watch all of the videos and in the end they crash, and that's we're nowhere near. No one has fully solved this problem yet. Right guys, that's it from me on this one. We're going to end it. Look after yourselves, stay safe. We will speak same time, same place next week, and I will speak to you soon.